and a very warm welcome to Cultural Communication Confidence with me, Victoria Reynoldson. Today we have an incredibly important topic. We're talking about how to stop communication stress in English. And I see this too often. There is a sense that your communication skills are incredibly important for enabling your next step, your next promotion or career move. And that can be absolutely true. It's part of the toolkit you have available to you to really demonstrate your value, your expertise, your knowledge. Sometimes communication skills are known as soft skills in development and training. In reality, they're anything but soft. Communication skills can be the difference between successfully influencing and getting your project signed off or it not moving through the board. It also can be the difference between landing new business or expanding with a customer or missing out on a valuable sales opportunity. Finally, it can really be that difference between a team working very successfully together or the project not being able to be delivered because the team are not communicating well together. So as you can see, communication skills are critical. And certainly if you are an international manager working in English, your communication confidence in English is incredibly important. But then this is the problem. This is where the stress comes in, the communication stress, as I call it. Because people often put a lot of pressure on themselves. They want to be perfect. They want to express themselves in the most perfect way, whether that is with the right phrases or words, the grammar, in their pronunciation and how they sound. They want to have a British or an American accent and sound as close as possible to a native speaker of English. This perfectionism can sometimes not be very helpful. In fact, it can hold you back as people become quite self-critical and become quite negative about how they're doing. So I want to suggest a way through this communication stress, particularly for people who are international managers and leaders working in English. The alternative I want to share with you here today is something which is a philosophy very core to my work that I do with my clients and my people, which is all about communication agility. Communication agility is a mindset, an approach, which is all about having flexibility to be able to react and respond to whatever comes up. Knowing and trusting yourself that you do have a variety of ways to express yourself rather than just the one way. To know that it's okay to make mistakes and that actually sometimes it's better to say it simply than not to speak up at all. It's a philosophy and approach which is about helping people to relax more into who they are, to not get so focused on saying it perfectly, but instead to focus on expressing themselves, which means more of their personality shines through, which clearly is a great thing. Communication agility is really important. When we have that philosophy and approach, when we build up the communication confidence mindset, then what this means, this can be the difference between us coming across in the way we want to and having the personal reputation and visibility, which gives us that green light for our next promotion or career move. So this is why I really believe in it. What actually goes into communication agility? Well, it really breaks down into 3 simple steps for me. And this is part of the work that I do with my clients in my programs. Step 1 is getting clarity. So often when I start working with somebody, they don't have clarity about where they're going and where they're starting. And clearly, if we don't know where we're starting from and where we're going, then it's quite difficult to make progress because we are just scattergun trying to find a way to improve. So for me, getting clarity means, do you really understand your communication goals? Do you understand where your gaps are and where you need to improve? And importantly, how does this help you in your next promotion or career move? So for example, you might say, actually, what I really need to do is to work on my presentation and public speaking. Or maybe it's more about how you're networking internally and externally and building great connections. Or maybe it is about your meeting style, how you're leading the agenda and handling the politics and handling the difficult conversations in meetings. So understand your goal. To understand your gaps, equally you need to know your starting point. So you need to get really good quality feedback on where you're starting from. And many people make assumptions about where they're good at and where they're not so good at. Actually, people tend to make more assumptions about the negative points in their communication. So really make sure you get good quality feedback, objective feedback about your communication skills in English today. And that's why I offer these evaluations, to really help people get the true picture, to really understand where the gaps are and where to pay attention. And the final piece of clarity is getting clarity of mindset. And this is really understanding that communication confidence comes from this agility, that actually, as I mentioned before, the perfectionism isn't helping us, it's limiting. So that's all about the first stage, get clarity. The second stage is where we can really start developing the skills. And what I would suggest to you, that if you're sort of working through this, really think about how can you express yourself in a variety of ways in the situations that you are. I've already mentioned some of those contexts, whether it's communicating in meetings, presentations, networking, public speaking, whatever your context is, really think about and plan before every interaction. How am I approaching this? What are the different ways that I can say things and express myself? And this is where, in my particular programs, I spend a lot of time with people, helping them in feedback and exercises and repeated feedback so that they can improve. And then the final stage is about ongoing sustainability. What you want to do is find a way to keep on improving, keep on developing, and taking the steps forward on your journey. In my particular programs, the way we do that is making sure at the end of a program that we reevaluate. So we are making sure there's progress in somebody's communication confidence, in their communication skills, and giving them a development plan that's very action oriented. So applying and activating the learning that we've had during the program. So 3 key stages: gaining clarity, developing the communication agility, and ongoing sustainability. These are the key parts of this communication agility mindset. And I do hope that's helpful, particularly if you are somebody who is experiencing communication stress, either short term for particular events or meetings that you've got planned, or perhaps you are experiencing it over a long-term basis. Maybe these approaches, this philosophy is going to help you. And just remember, if you are experiencing a lot of negative feelings around this, please feel free to reach out for support and help. I'm absolutely happy to give you that support. Now, if you are somebody who is an international manager working in English and you are very focused and committed towards developing your career and looking towards that next promotion and career move, then I'm really wanted to remind you that we have a live masterclass happening very soon. and I would love you to be part of it, particularly if you're somebody who has experienced at times this communication stress in English. The masterclass is happening on Wednesday, the 20th of September, and it is London time 1 to 2 p.m. In this masterclass, I'm going to be sharing and covering the key areas that you can develop and activate right now to start overcoming your challenges and start moving forward so you can get away from feeling limited and frustrated in your communication in English and start feeling into your leadership communication self in English. The name of the masterclass is Confident Global Communication. And it's going to be a live training session, virtual, so you can join from anywhere in the world. And I would love you to join me and be there. So to do that, you need to register to get your free seat. The link is www.culturecuppa.com/confident-global-communication. And I'll put a link to that in the show notes as well. I do hope you have found today's episode helpful and valuable. And if you have, who else would benefit from this? Please feel free to share this with a friend, co-worker, colleague who also might be experiencing communication stress and would really find this helpful. And maybe they would also like to join us for the masterclass as well. Thank you so much for joining me today on this episode, and I look forward to seeing you next time for Cultural Communication Confidence.